Hey, this is William Tincup and Ryan Leary, and you are listening, hopefully watching, the You Should Know podcast. Today we have Jessica Jensen on from Indeed, and we're going to be talking about Indeed FutureWorks. So, Ryan, how are you doing today?
I am fantastic, and I am super excited
Yeah,
to get moving on this episode. We've got a big travel week coming up, and excited to talk about it.
yeah, and we're going to be at FutureWorks doing some podcasting.
We are.
Really trying to get some type of photo with Trevor and Sam is really the game, I believe.
Only
But
reason we're
think
there.
that may
yeah,
be possible.
Jessica, would you do us a favor and introduce yourself?
Happy to. Thanks so much, William and Ryan, for having me on. Jessica Jensen, I'm the Chief Marketing Officer of Indeed, and we are the largest job site in the world and huge fans of your podcast. And we bring about 350 million job seekers around the world together with over 3.5 million employers every month. And it is a joy and delight to support the hiring and talent markets and the people who listen to your podcast.
Right now, that was like kind of low key, 350 million.
Yeah,
Did you
Just
get that?
sneaking it in.
just slip it in.
I'm pretty sure that's more of the population than it's in America.
Jessica, we had another interview. This week or last week. Like I forget what he did. He say he went to NYU school
No, no.
Stern.
Yeah, no, well, he's went to Stern, but he
Yeah.
he was dean of students at Cornell.
Cornell, yeah, and he just said,
He
and
stood
Dina,
off.
yeah,
While I was dean of students at Cornell, and then he went into this other thing. I'm like, well,
Whoa,
stop.
back
stop
up,
right there.
back up.
Dean of students.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about FutureWorks.
Great. Well, yeah, this is our marquee customer event every
Okay.
year. And FutureWorks is a franchise that we run around the world. So our big U.S. version is September 26th in Dallas. Thrilled that you'll be joining us there. And we do this conference in Tokyo, Dublin, London, Germany, all over the world. And this is where we bring our insights on the hiring landscape, hot, fresh economic and labor market data from our hiring lab, the greatest in our product innovations, and a lot of inspiring, wonderful content from celebrity and business luminaries. So this year we have Trevor Noah on stage talking about comedic relief in an age of AI wackiness. That's my words, not his.
Yep.
Indra Inouye, the famous former CEO of Pepsi, in conversation with our Chief Revenue Officer, Maggie Hulse, sharing their insights on leadership and the world of work that we live in today. We have our CEO, Chris Himes, sharing a brief history. We are celebrating our 20th anniversary at Indeed this fall. So talking about where we've come from and then our vision for the future for both job seekers and employers. So many wonderful speakers and sessions ranging from labor market trends to Gen AI impacts to the importance of work well-being in today's world.
So the in-person event is VIP, right?
It's
But is
sold
there-
out, yes.
Is there? Yeah, I've had people ask, by the way.
Yeah.
But anyhow, there's an online component too,
Yes,
right?
absolutely. Thank you. It's totally virtual as well.
Right.
And if you go to IndeedFutureWorks.com, please register. We have about 25,000 people signed up so far, and we are really excited to beam this fantastic content all over the world. So if you're in the hiring and TA world or an HR leader, please join us.
And Jessica, you have a session as
I
well,
do.
which you didn't mention as
I
you
No,
went
she did
through that
not.
long
Talk-
list of speakers.
Talking about
Yeah.
Sam, talking about Chris,
Yeah.
talking about all these other
Yeah,
people.
Lay
know.
out yourself. What are
Yeah,
we
yeah.
talking about?
Yeah, well, thank you. I am talking about real talk in the world of Gen AI. And I don't know if you experience this, but I and many people I know are thrilled and excited by Gen AI and also completely overwhelmed and trying to sort out what is worth our time and our exploration. We have people in the media telling us to just play with Gen AI. Well, if only we all had time to just play.
Yeah, only
And
if.
so I'm trying to give some really practical advice. You have this issue. this need in your work, use this tool in this way. ChatGPT, Indeed, Glean, Zoom. I cover a bunch of very, very specific use cases. I'm trying to kind of cut through the crap on Gen AI, if you will, excuse my
Yep.
French,
Nope, you're good.
and just make it very, very acknowledge how anxiety provoking it all is,
Right.
and then help people find some really, really clear solutions to go grab and use.
Just for my edification, when you talk about Gen AI, are you doing that from the employer's perspective or for the candidate's perspective, or
That
a
is
little bit of both?
That is a great question. It's a little bit of both. I
Okay.
am more focused on how HR professionals can
Right.
use AI to save themselves time and effort and make hiring more human. But I also cover some of the things that we are delivering that help job seekers as well.
Yeah, I can see y'all being on the forefront of seeing how candidates use Gen AI
For sure.
themselves.
Yes. Yes.
That's going to be a great session. That's
Yeah.
going to be an absolutely great session.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
The pressure's
the
on. I'm
oh,
sweating.
yeah. Oh, and you're up first? Great. No
Oh,
worries.
great. I should also say what Sam Altman is covering with. So
Yeah.
Sam is doing a virtual session with our CEO and talking about, of course, he is sitting at the absolute fulcrum of Gen AI and what he sees as its impact on the world of work. But then Chris and Sam will also be covering our custom integration of GPT on the Indeed platform, which we're using to do personalized job recommendations. And we've been using AI at Indeed for a very long time, but this GPT model integration has really yielded some great early results. We're seeing a 20% lift in started applications by job seekers and a 13% lift in hiring success outcomes. So that customization of job recommendations, the matching with employers' needs, is where we are putting an incredible amount of investment and attention, and it's really driving better outcomes for employers and job seekers.
And that's the important part, right? You need
That's
to
why
get
we
them
do it.
to get them to a closed application, complete the application, get them into the employers. I want to talk a little bit about well-being
Sure.
in the workplace. I know this is a focus for Indeed, and you'll be covering a lot of this throughout the entire event. Many speakers will be talking about this. Maybe walk us through a little bit. Why is this so important to Indeed?
Yeah. So, I think one of the two gifts of COVID, if I can be so bold, is that kids learned to wash their hands and people learned to be open about the mental struggles of work and life. And we've seen, as you know, an explosion in therapy use, people being open and honest about anxiety, depression, loneliness, etc. And so I think this great opening conversation about well-being is incredibly healthy for all of us as human beings, but as workers. And so we're investing in primary research on what are the drivers of work well-being for workers. And we have a corpus of ratings and information that we've put out on work well-being, and we'll be sharing more of that research at FutureWorks. But very importantly, the companies that invest in and drive well-being at work perform better as stocks.
Yeah,
That may
because
not be
they care.
it may not be surprising to those of us who live in the world of work every day,
Right.
but being able to prove empirically that companies with better well-being outperform other companies financially is incredibly powerful. And we're very excited about taking that research to market.
So do you see a future where employers would have a well-being score? Like, do you see kind of a
Yes,
world in which that,
absolutely. Yes.
so the
And
candidates can kind of
we
shop
are
and see who cares about that?
we are doing that and providing that and rating companies and looking at ways that we can integrate that more into the job seeker experience. But yes, definitely. We believe that not only rating CEOs or company culture, but actually rating the entirety of well-being for an organization is necessary, valuable, and super important to job seekers, and very important for employers and companies to understand and drive that.
So when you design a conference, one of the things that I like, the highest form of praise that you can receive from an audience is that they couldn't get to see it all. Like there was so much good things. They couldn't take a break. There was just
Love that.
so much going on. That's a high praise.
Yeah.
They're angry with you because they couldn't see it all. It's
You're beating me
counterintuitive.
with good content.
That's exactly right, right? It's the fire hose. I'm mad at you because I couldn't
Right.
get all the content. So how do you navigate that, and how do you what's for the attendees especially?
Yeah.
What should be on their radar? Like, what are they have to go to this? They just have to
so
go to this
it's a
session.
different experience. Of course, I love this question. It's a different experience if you're on site versus
Right.
if you're in the virtual realm, and most people will be in the virtual realm.
Right.
And so in the virtual realm, it's really one day of jam-packed treasures and gems. Trevor Noah, Indra Nui, our EVP of product, Raj Mukherjee, talking about our product innovation. Chris, our CEO, on Indeed's history and vision forward. So I would really, I think all of the goody and me, whether or not that's of interest is a different question.
100%.
But so
You should have started with you.
all of that is in the virtual program, and so
Right.
I think there's incredible value in all those sessions. If you're on site, there are some breakout events like product demos and some kind of subsector sales and client experiences. But I would really, if most people will join virtually, and if just look at the full agenda on our website, FutureWorks, and that one day I think is really robust and worth everyone's time, if I may be so bold as to say that.
Just a quick follow-up. Will it be recorded so that they can see it like the next day or something like that?
Yes.
Okay.
We have some restrictions on what celebrities can be viewed in what time frames, but in
Fair.
any of the Indeed-based content,
it's in my rider, so I understand.
I was gonna just say you got our riders, right?
okay, good. Yes, we have your
green, yellow,
stickers,
green, and
and
red. Yeah.
we have your snack.
No. I want the green
Ferns,
separated from the
ferns.
red M&Ms.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Good.
They got to be live. They got to be not fake ferns. They got to be live ferns.
Real live
white
ferns, secret entrances.
Yeah. But so many people these days want a Netflix content, and so they'll sign up for stuff.
Yeah.
They'll attend some of it, but work got away or
and
life got
like
away.
some of these topics, maybe more people are more interested in work well-being versus labor market statistics, right?
Boy,
and so,
I'll go back to AI, Gen AI for just a second, if you don't mind.
Oh, please.
So again, the discussion that you're going to have with people is going to go giving them an idea of, okay, let's just kind of get to how you can really use this today. More practical advice. That said, do you see Gen AI being a part of the experience throughout the candidate experience, throughout the employer experience at a point, in the future where it's always serving up kind of recommendations and things like that?
Absolutely. I mean, I think we're only scratching the surface as an industry now, and you've obviously covered this on your podcast. I mean, I think we are leveraging it and marinating in it, and Indeed in a number of ways that touch different parts of the hiring experience, right? So we have an AI guided job description generator, which not only helps save huge amounts of time for TA teams and hiring managers, but leads to 16% higher application rates because the jobs that we generate, the descriptions we generate, are more accurate, more relevant, and ingest all of the targeting goodness. So it's not just a time saver. These actually perform better for applicants and for hiring managers. And then we're using it. So we have a product called Smart Sourcing, which is the unification of candidate and job matching with really robust tools that give you a summary of why certain candidates are qualified or not, which adds a whole nother layer of value.
With y'all building with OpenAI your own Chat GPT model, it's learning with all the data that you're sitting on, employee data, employer data, candidate data, etc. 350 million that you just basically toss out there as a number, no big deal. It's 350 million size of the United States.
Huge responsibility.
Yeah, but again, as we've learned with a lot of other AI models, the more that's going through it, the faster it learns.
That-
And so, tell us a little bit more about the partnership that you have with OpenAI.
Sure, absolutely. So we have our own, of course, we are a matching platform at our core, right? And so we are using ChatGPT and GPT models to enhance our own models. And just exactly to your point, all of the data that we are pumping through that combination of platform elements is what makes it better all the time, right? So the more data we have coming through those models, the better the matching becomes. And this is where our partnership with employers is so important because we need them to put in the most accurate and specific information into their job descriptions, for example, salary and specific location, right?
Right.
Putting in Ohio is not helpful. Putting in a zip code or something much more specific, that data allows us to get them the best qualified candidates and makes the model more powerful every day. So it takes a village of us and all of our partners, including OpenAI and our customers, to make the model better all the time. And we are thrilled to be able to do that now.
And that's a huge undertaking. So, Jessica, I want to go back to the event a little bit
Yeah.
because you have a tremendous audience that's going to be online. Over 25,000 people. You've got everybody that's going to be on site there. When somebody attends this event, when they leave the event, what are they going to walk away with and
Yeah.
say, I didn't know that was Indeed?
That's a great question.
Everyone knows Indeed of yesteryear, but
Right.
what are they
Right.
going to walk away with here?
Great. Well, I'm hoping that they will really understand how we are leveraging generative AI to make the hiring matching process between job seekers and employers simpler, faster, more robust, and give people time back to
Right.
actually connect with human beings.
Right.
Right? Everybody who got into recruiting did it because they love to connect with people and match them to amazing jobs. They did not do it to manage calendars and write job descriptions, etc. So we are bringing the value and the power of Gen AI to employers to give them time, access, and better results and the ability to connect with real people. We are also helping hundreds of millions of job seekers find jobs all the time. So that is a huge gift.
Well, I think it's a continued
Secondly,
theme. Oh, go
sorry, go
ahead.
ahead.
No, you finish your thought
Secondly,
so I don't
we
derail.
have a front row seat to all labor trends around the world. And our hiring lab is a team of global economists who survey and track and report on every shade of labor fluctuation around the world. And we are going to give people the power to understand where work is heading in the future, how to think about workforce development, workforce planning, given our view on technology evolution and the working person's landscape around the world.
You know you're sitting on a large amount of data when Wall Street pays attention to your reports.
Yes, we are actually consulted by governments around the world.
Yep.
And private equity firms. And so we are very honored to be viewed as a source of extremely quality data and insights on labor.
Right.
Yeah, as you were saying that, William, I was thinking back to just what Jessica was saying as you were saying, all of the infrastructure that you have around the world and your research as economist. Not a lot of people understand that.
No, they
You're
don't.
just a job board.
Yeah.
Right? You're just a job board. And
We're
click, apply,
a lot
move
more
on.
than
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's important. And that's what I'll get out of this is, I mean, I followed Indeed for years and years. Obviously, I've used Indeed 20 years ago when I was, in a recruiting role.
Yeah.
But
Thank
what
you.
I'm hoping to get out of this personally is what is different than what I actually know or just read about and even hear, because we talk a lot with you all.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
want to see it. I want to see it
Absolutely.
now, and I want to see the excitement on the
Absolutely.
customers' faces.
I think the
Thank you.
theme for me and Indeed has always been innovation, because I remember a world with Monster, Career Builder, and some of the other players like that, where Indeed came along and said, "Yeah, this is silly. We should aggregate jobs. We should get the jobs off Career Builder, off of career sites, etc., and make it a better experience for candidates to find jobs. Like this is insane. It's inefficient. Let's just
It's
call it that.
inefficient, right?
It's inefficient. So let's make it more efficient. No one was aggregating. Y'all
No,
were the first to aggregate
that was our
jobs.
main point of innovation back in the day.
How simple does that feel right now, though?
Yeah.
Right?
Hey, at the time,
Think
at the
about
time,
that. Yeah. Does aggregate jobs and innovative, should they still be in the same set? It's like that's you guys have come so far.
Well, I mean, I think that's our migration from a search aggregator to a hiring and matching platform. Right. And we are part of the same holding company with Glassdoor. They are a sister company of ours. We go to market together. So we have employer branding, ratings and reviews, CEO ratings. We have all of the job matching and Gen AI integration of Indeed. So we are, and now Hiring Lab, which not enough people know about. You're quite right to point that out, Ryan. So we are a full meal deal hiring and insights platform. And so part of FutureWorks is trying to help people see the full picture of what we offer.
So tell us a little bit more about the OpenAI relationship. How did that come about? And again, what you can talk about publicly, of course.
Yeah, well, I mean, we are in the technology innovation world, and we are obviously, as you've referred to, we have a rather impressive amount of data on both sides of the hiring marketplace. And so constantly talking to large and small companies across the landscape, and saw very early on that Gen AI and particularly the GPT technology was going to open an incredible window of matching and simplification and personalization power that we could bring to the market. So, we have friends in tech land and reach out and make some magic happen.
Did see that conversation with Chris and Sam going into just wonderful areas for the people that are watching and for the people in the room. It's just going to be mind blowing.
It's pretty fun.
That's going to be a great session. They're all going to be great.
Thank you.
That's actually going to be really fantastic. You mentioned the history, the 20-year history. What's Chris going to highlight, or some of the things that he'll highlight in that 20-year history? Because it was different back then than it is now.
Absolutely.
Right?
I mean, we, as you said, we started out as a search aggregator, a job listings aggregator. We basically took the newspaper and a bunch of other sources and turned them into a really, really effective and efficient way to find and post jobs. And then, through our evolution, we have made many new, added many bells and whistles to our sponsored job product and enhanced our matching. Then we were bought by Recruit. Recruit also owned Glassdoor. So we are now part of a family of solutions and have many other businesses in the hiring landscape in Japan as well. So we've been on a journey to make our job listing into a proper hiring marketplace, which is wildly complex globally. When you think about the labor dynamics in Germany versus Japan versus Singapore versus Canada, it's an apple and a pear and a tennis racket and a golf cart. So we are, the level of matching technology and sophistication globally is something we've invested a lot in, and we're not remotely done. And, we're also job seeker first. This is one of our core values, which a lot of people, it makes them scratch their head a little bit. But what it means is we always try to do right by the job seeker, because we believe what's right for the job seeker is eventually the best thing for the employer.
100%.
And if we attract job seekers first and the most and the best, we will be the most useful to employers. So constantly thinking about how is job search changing? How are young people thinking about jobs and work super differently than my generation? We are now incredibly active in YouTube and TikTok, and we have to take our message to where the people are, and can't expect every 18-year-old to come to our website.
Well, you can expect it. You
We
might
can
not
hope.
be
We can hope.
successful.
The internet.
But
What?
hope is not a strategy.
Yeah.
So we are really thinking and working very actively on, as I like to say, all of the octopus legs of job seeker exploration, discovery, search, application, and making that really robust.
Well, being job seeker centric and being where they are, you've already solved two of the things that a lot of people don't solve for.
It's the hardest thing.
It is the hardest thing
Yeah.
because it's easy to be client centric because they're the ones paying,
Yes.
right? Like I get that bit,
That's right.
but the fact is that you put that job seeker up on a pedestal and say everything centers around them,
That's
which
right.
begs the question of legacy and mission. So how does Chris and the board and all the executives, how do you kind of stay on mission?
Oh my gosh, this is such a wonderful question,
And
Chris.
has it changed?
No,
Yeah.
our mission has not changed. We help people get jobs. That is our mission. And we believe in equality of opportunity. We believe all people should have access to better jobs that leads to better lives. And so we invest very heavily in helping, we call them job seekers who face barriers. So that can be gender, economic background, incarceration history, veteran status, LGBTQ+. We believe all people should have the access and the opportunity to get great jobs that help them. And so that's why we have been at the forefront of salary transparency, right? We have been pushing employers to disclose salaries for a very long time because that is a key unlock for women, people of color, people who have been traditionally marginalized in the workplace. This is how we lobby on behalf of job seekers with employers to get the best outcomes for job seekers, which also happen to be the best outcomes for employers.
Y'all don't get enough credit for helping narrow the pay equity gap because of that.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Like that. Again, you just kind of glossed over it. 350 million users, no big deal. Because first of all, when you put salary, at least as an outsider, when you put salary into a job description, you're going to get more candidates that will look at it.
That's right.
They don't have to guess. It's like, oh, that's an $85,000 job. Okay, got it. But you're also, because of that, people have been preyed upon in the past because they just didn't know what the job was.
People
don't know.
They don't know what the right salary is, and women are not trained to negotiate. Men negotiate way more than women. And if that's changing, but these are the kinds of societal tectonic plates that we're trying to drag along, right? Everybody should know what a job is worth.
Right.
And it shouldn't be mysterious. And therefore, people will get what they should be paid regardless of their background or color of skin or gender or whatever.
Hey, man.
Are your final question from me, Jessica? How do your clients take to your work in the community with the job seekers? I mean, obviously, the employers are bringing you on to accomplish a goal.
Mm-hmm.
But how important is it to them or not for your work around what you're doing around labor, pay equity, and inside the job seeking market?
That's a great question, too. I would say some employers are looking for quality candidates fast at a good price.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Great. Okay. We do that all day long. That is our main source of utility. Okay, great. It's also incumbent upon us to make sure that they have the most qualified job seekers available to them, regardless of university degree, previous incarceration, veteran status, etc. So we invest in those kinds of areas because it helps the job seeker pool for employers. Then there are many employers that are thrilled and elated that we lobby on behalf of marginalized groups, and many employers join us in that. So we have a huge refugee hiring initiative in Europe where we partner with National Institutes of Health and on-the-ground European hiring partners to attract refugees from Ukraine, Syria, etc., who have
Right.
certain skills to bring to jobs in countries that they've never lived in before. And so what a win for the employers making the
Mhm.
hires.
It
What a
just opens
win.
up the aperture
Yeah,
of
exactly.
what's available to them.
It's a broader aperture of talent that often goes ignored. And we've had great employer partnerships and enthusiasm there.
Yeah. And to be clear to the audience, sorry, Webb, you're not just posting jobs and saying, well, they need a job, they're going to come. You're actively out there and building these
We are
groups.
hosting events. We're
Right.
doing
Right.
resume consultation. We are doing outreach with refugee groups or veterans groups or previously.
Yeah.
We have
Right.
all these partnerships all over the world. So, but yes, it's not just a matter of like, well, here's some people on the website, go check them out. Like we're doing active outreach and nurture and training
Mhm.
to job seekers to help them understand what their opportunities are and go get them.
And again, you don't get enough credit for that as well, like the pay equity gap, because it's educating them as to, because you go on the site and you think of what you can do or what you did, and you don't think about the opportunities that are available to you. And you'll serve those things up and give them a whole range of job seekers, a whole range of new things that they wouldn't even have connected the dots.
Yeah. Well, there's 70 million convicted people in the
Yep.
United States with criminal
Yeah.
records.
Mhm.
Felonies.
Like, you
Yep.
can't
Mhm.
afford to block out that labor pool.
No, not at
Mhm.
all. Nor should you.
No.
So it's like opening people's minds. Like, do you really need a college degree for that job? No, you
Yeah.
don't. No.
No, no. There again, it kind of gets back to skills, right?
It's, of
At some
course, that's
level.
that skills and willingness to work and do good work, and that is
Mhm.
irrespective of a lot of trappings.
So, two questions. One is, you mentioned about the FutureWorks being a franchise and it be, going from country to country. Do y'all have this is the US one, I would assume.
Yeah.
Do you have others in this year, or are you already starting
We
to
sure
plan
do. We
25?
have Tokyo the second week of November. I will be there. We have Germany in, I believe, later November. So if you go to our website, we have every city and date heading into next year, but they are all over the world.
And they'll be a little bit different, like
Oh,
not
yeah,
the
they're
same guests.
customized to their country.
Oh,
So we
wow.
have customer examples, country-specific data points, speakers from local markets. It's
Oh,
not
that's
this,
cool.
That's a
it's not
massive
the same.
undertaking.
Right.
It's
But
not the same
Ryan, it
stuff.
sounds like we've got some travel in front of us, is what I heard.
I
Hey,
think you
we're
need to
headed to
book an around the
Tokyo.
world ticket.
Let's do
Absolutely.
it.
So the last thing is just practical advice for the folks that are going to be in the room, because the folks that are watching from home, they're just gonna consume. But in the room, people that are going to be in Dallas
Mhm.
for this, what advice would you give
Yep.
for them? What's your parting advice?
Always be charging. Charge your devices. ABC, always be charging. No, just come with an open mind and an open heart. We try to make it educational, but also really fun. We have comedy sprinkled throughout, but then also, like deep data dunking. So you can nerd out with us and have a great time. We're just thrilled to welcome anybody in Dallas or online, and we put a lot of heart and soul into this. So thank you for making the time to spend with us.
Sure. And slide it into wear comfortable shoes.
Footwear matters. I carry a sack.
Footwear
Carry
matters.
a sack with my stage shoes, and then I immediately change out.
Nice.
Yeah, just the basics. But
Nice.
thank you so much for
Oh, it was a
putting
delight.
on
Yes,
FutureWorks,
please.
but also thank you for podcasting with us.
Oh,
And it's
thanks
just
for
been amazing.
having me. This is a great conversation, and thanks for helping us get the good word out about FutureWorks.
But thanks to the audience. Again, we'll see you next time. Appreciate you.